from Texas. Mr. Sessions is recognized for 5 minutes for questioning.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much, and for this hearing today. Most interesting on both sides. Ms. Wojcicki, you and I met on 1/20/2015 up at the Rules Committee. I was chairman of the Rules Committee at the time, and covered much of the things that we are covering today with a different viewpoint, perhaps back then, although we understood that there were members of the House, soon to be Senate, who did hold very dear thoughts about privacy and the things that would come with that. I have 3 questions. The first one is, I assume for anyone who can answer it, who's going to decide who gets the company? Is it the bankruptcy judge?
It is first a recommendation from the special committee of 23&Me to evaluate the 2 final bidders to ensure that there is a highest and best bid for the company. That recommendation will then be presented to the bankruptcy court for the bankruptcy court's evaluation.
So a recommendation, and theoretically it could be off highest bidder. Is the bankruptcy judge then going to determine the remaining value of what happens in that disposition of the bankruptcy amount?
It is the bankruptcy court which will determine what happens with the proceeds from the sale, if that's what your question is.
Thank you. Anyone disagree with that? Thank you. Data that is being held, I see the term often that might be reserved for the term research. This is used for research. Is there a corresponding value where a person, 23&Me, would ping back a person if they discovered that all of a sudden something appeared in the marketplace that would correspond to some DNA markers that then 23&Me recognized, hey, we have a trial, we have an answer, we have data and information. Could we get you to take part in a trial? Is there a moving back from 23&Me to a person that was whose data you had?
Yes, it's a great question. So we actually call this was the flywheel, is that we actually, when we set out the company, we wanted to create a research platform that was actually what we say by the people for the people, so that if the consented customers wanted to go and research a topic, that we could go and all collectively come together, input that information, research it, and then we'd actually put that back to customers as a new report.
So this means to me that 23&Me has data and information specific to what might be new research or something that appeared in Science, a trial, data and information where you can link that back to the individual. And I had heard people, perhaps, and I could be wrong, this panel say there is no direct link back to a person. Is it based upon if a person opted into that, or do you have it even if someone didn't opt in or opt away, that you could, as part of the service, tell them 10 years later, 12 years later, hey, we believe on predictive analysis of what we've learned, you have something on the surface or deep in your DNA. We want you to be aware of something.
So it's a great question, and 2 very different parts of the service. So customers have the ability to opt into research, and in that research part, the scientists are doing discovery.
So they would have had to have opted in the beginning, and perhaps that was a value of 23&Me, or at least it was in 2015 that you and I spoke about.
They have the ability to opt in. We make a discovery. Once we've made a discovery, for instance, we have what's called polygenic risk scores on areas like type 2 diabetes. once we say we have validated, we have the ability to predict potentially who's at higher risk for type 2 diabetes, we turn that into a report. And one of the features of 23&Me as a customer who is buying into the subscription is we continuously update your account with new information as it's coming.
So my point in saying this, and I'm sorry to cut you off, I've got about 1 second left. There is a direct link that with the sale of 23&Me, you would have corresponding data specific to an individual. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here today. I hope that this stuff is on a website, FAQ, frequently asked questions or something. There's a lot of people that are here today talking about fear. I think fear is a very negative way to look at things. I think education is. So I hope you're able to make sure if you need to update it, that you're looking at that and appropriately answering questions perhaps that members had today. Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you for the 29 seconds extra. I yield back my time.